finally I'm free, thank God! What a nightmare! Listen, can you pull the inhibitor chip out of me? It's the metal thing stuck in me, just pull it out!
What the fuck is that?
Oh, that feels so much better, thank you. Yeah, sorry about the spit. I needed to get you infected with the translator microbes. That's sort of how it works. I guess you guys don't have...
What up, YouTube? Shredded Otaku here. And today we're going to be talking about a game that was nice enough to come out of left field and surprise the hell out of me, and that is High on Life. Now this game, normally this is the part where I pull up a physical copy and I show it off, because I am a physical game collector, but this game actually wasn't released physically at all, and hopefully it is at some point. But you can currently buy it on Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam, and if you're like me, you're just going to play it on Game Pass. But if you're watching this video at the time of the recording, today at least, it's currently on sale for 25% off on Steam, which is not quite a steal at $45. We'll get into that later. But awesome game, guys. But first and foremost, sorry for the delay on this video. Maybe I should stop apologizing for delaying my videos, because at the end of the day, I'm not monetized on this channel yet. If you would like to see that happen, if you would like to see more videos like this, please feel free, subscribe, like. I would love for this channel to grow. I would love for this community to grow. I would love to be able to do awesome things with you guys, giveaways, etc. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But anyway, first and foremost, happy freaking holidays, guys. It is now 2023. I don't know how your Christmas was, but mine was pretty dope. I got a bunch of really cool human interactions. I'm not really big on gifts. I don't think the holidays should be about spending money, but I did get this awesome Pokemon Puma collab t-shirt from my younger brother and sister. Which to me was like, it's hard to put into words, but it was the most meaningful gift I could have possibly received this year, and that meant a lot to me. I don't know, maybe reach down in the comments, tell me about some cool stuff that you guys got or some cool experiences you had. I'd be curious to hear. But also, you know, Happy New Year. Like, it's a brand new year, whole new year of games and also just life, you know. Let's have a good year, guys. And with that little spiel out of the way, let's get into the actual content here, which is the topic of today. High on Life, which really goes along with the theme that I'm feeling for 2023. Separate topic altogether. But anyway, so this game, again, kind of, for me at least, came out of left field, because I did not know anything about the development cycle. I don't really follow along with a lot of these third-party things, but I did hear last minute that it was essentially a Rick and Morty game, and I didn't read too much into it further going in, other than like the creators of Rick and Morty were behind it. A lot of the original voice actors for Rick and Morty were in the game. Now, I'm a huge fan of Rick and Morty. I love that humor. I think that anyone that's ever... Okay, before I continue any further, I want to stop real quick and just say that the topics and the footage that I'm going to show on this video are very adult themed. So if you came to my channel on the topic of Nintendo or Pokemon or something of that nature, I said this last time, and I will get back into that content later on, so feel free to stay in the community. We'd love to have you, but don't watch if you're a child, please. Okay, you're still here. So if you've ever experimented with psychedelics or had a angsty teen phase, maybe, let's just say that, the Rick and Morty humor is going to be great for you. And it might not be great for everybody. A lot of people don't understand the constant fourth wall breaking. A lot of people don't understand the juxtaposition of just random crap thrown at you.
Hey, you can run, you know. I don't know if you do that. Try hitting the button on your screen. I can't say the name of the button because I have no fucking clue what kind of controller or keyboard you're using.
But again, if you've ever gone down that particular rabbit hole, it's super duper funny, dude. Wubba lubba dub. So anyway, when I heard that, I was super excited to play this game. It was honestly something that I had imagined years ago, and I never thought that I would see come to fruition. And now we have it. So there's not a whole lot to talk about as far as gameplay goes, because essentially, guys, this is a Doom clone as far as like the gameplay goes. The gunplay, etc. It plays like Doom. In fact, when you boot the game up, there is actually like a legit cameo spin-off of just like the original Doom, and it plays out just like that. And it's hella funny because it's just got Morty screaming at you the whole time. Or, sorry, not Morty. Rick's voice actor, at least, screaming at you the whole time. And it's a really good way to just kind of kickstart the sense of humor that's going to continue throughout the game.
Man, I love you, Buck. You're so fucking cool.
Now, the narrative is absolutely constant in this game. So if you're not a fan of that sense of humor, not necessarily if you've experimented with drugs, but if you're not a fan of that sense of humor, you're not going to be a fan of this game, because that is the meat and potatoes here, guys. Like, that sense of humor, that style, that wittiness, that is it right there. The gameplay itself is, again, a Doom clone, but it's certainly not going to play as well as Doom or Doom Eternal, so, like, if you just want to play that, it's already there. But if you do like Rick and Morty, if you do think that sounds like a fun idea, there it is, guys.
Oh my god, don't give me that look, narc. What, are you mad that I'm throwing this party tonight? It's fine. Mom and Dad are gone for a whole fucking week. We can do whatever we want.
Just a constant narrative stream of intense, funny humor. Now, I will say that stream of humor will kind of play itself out, because the Rick and Morty style of humor is ultimately not meant to be played for 15 hours, which is how long this game runs, give or take. I guess if you were to speed run all the way through it, ignore a ton of dialogue, you could probably blast through in 7 or 8 hours. Me personally, 15 hours was my runtime, maybe give or take like an hour or two. But it's really good if you play it in short bursts. If you play it for half an hour to an hour at a time, awesome, long episode of Rick and Morty, essentially, with gameplay. If you try to speedrun it or blast through the game, you're going to sit there going, holy crap, I'm tired of this. And that's even for someone like myself that loves this sense of humor. Now, I don't mean for that to sound like it's a bummer, because let's face it, guys, like, we shouldn't be playing games for more than an hour at a time anyway, like, let's be real, unless we're grinding on Xenoblade, which I also just beat, and I did grind that. But for games like this, I think it's a perfect sit-down experience to just throw on, play for half an hour at a time, have a couple good laughs, and ultimately, guys, we need more games like this. Like, we really, really do. Right away when you boot the game up, there's a ton of sequences that will give you a good feel for what you're going to get into, including something like...
Hey, I don't like getting up to take shit, so I'm just going to shit right here in the couch later. I don't have to shit right now, but just a heads up.
Like that. Was that weird or was that normal? It was weird, right?
And then going forward throughout the game, you're going to experience a ton of other hilarious dialogue pieces that are super just out of context, random, kind of trippy humor. If you're a fan of that stuff, guys, the game is incredible. I will say it's gotten a lot of weird, kind of mixed all over the place reviews. My review is personally for what I want it to be. It's like an 8 out of 10. And again, like, I think that's kind of giving it high praise, considering the fact that I've already said that the narrative drives on if you play it for too long, and the gameplay is just kind of a clone. But dude, like, it's Rick and Morty in a game. At the $60 price point, I will say that I would maybe, I hate to hype it this much up, but I would maybe wait for a price drop. I think the $45 mark that I talked about earlier at the Steam sale that's currently going on right now, I think that's a pretty solid buy. But $60, I think that's a little steep. I think that this game were to be released as a physical copy that you could find on sale later down the line for 40 or less, that would be ideal. Unfortunately, we don't have that. If you were to fast forward into the future about 2 years, I would say that, like, limited run games will probably pick this up and do a print of this game for exclusive release on their website, which is something that I will probably do and buy later on. I would pay $60 for a physical copy of this game, because I think it's something that I would look back on even years from now and laugh at. But as far as like a digital purchase goes, I don't ever really condone paying $60 for a piece of essentially just buying a rental code of something, right? Like, I don't really think that's a good idea. But you do you, and I really think this game is awesome. I think it should do great. So if you have the money, like, support the game. I'm just giving you my honest thoughts. Going forward throughout the game, guys, I'll talk a little bit more about gameplay, because so far this has just been like a hype rant. But, like, you're gonna find a ton of awesome guns. There's gonna be a ton of really cool stuff that you encounter that is just super funny, random.
All right, here's the product. A genuine talking knife. I gotta be honest with you, he's a real piece of shit.
He's extremely violent. He basically only talks about wanting to kill people in very disturbing ways.
Fuck you, I'm gonna carve out your anal cavity. Gonna make it 3 times as big. Your shit's just gonna drop right out of there.
See what I'm talking about?
Oh,
It's been so long since I made a video, and I realize now that's really all I have to say. But that's really all that needs to be said. If you're a fan of humor, if you're a fan of Rick and Morty, if you're a fan of having a good time and playing a simplistic shooter that's really going to give you a nice, concise experience in a short span of time, which is how you should play this game. Once again, half hour to an hour, maybe play with a buddy, have a couple good laughs. It's awesome. It's really worth it, I think, if you get it for $45. See, me personally, I have an Xbox, and I happen to have one of those, like, because I don't normally subscribe to Game Pass, but if you don't subscribe to Game Pass and you wait long enough, they'll be like, hey bro, go ahead and sign up for $1. And the caveat is that they'll automatically bill your card at the recurring month, and that's $15. And then they just hope you never check, and they just bill you $15 forever. It's a really awesome thing that, I mean, obviously all these companies do, right? Like free trial, now you're hooked. But me personally, what I do is I just don't pay for Game Pass, and I just wait for a really long time. And then when something like this comes out, I will pay that $1 and then immediately go into my settings, remove auto renewal, so they're not going to bill me next cycle, and I have a whole month to play this game for $1. Yeah, I'm cheap, whatever. When this game gets picked up by Limited Run Games and I can buy a physical copy of it, I will gladly support that. I don't buy digital media, like, ever. But you totally should, because I do want more games like this to exist, and I think it's a really awesome game, guys. Yeah, I guess I'll leave you with that. Really hoping to make some more content in the future, guys. I said in my last video that I was going to do that, and I also said it in the video before that. But you know what? Life happens. I'm going to be honest with you. My New Year's has been pretty crazy. So I've just kind of been doing my thing. Hope you guys are okay with that. I know I am. But yeah, I do really enjoy making content on this channel. I really enjoy your guys' feedback, and I really enjoy this little community that I've built up. I would like to see in the comments, outside of your guys' experiences on Christmas, maybe some cool things you have. If you have any mentions of things that you'd like to see me talk about, whether it's just like games going forward, things that I'm excited about, things that I'm excited to be playing. I do think that at some point in the future, I'm going to be doing like a really, almost like a video essay of my experience with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because I did finally manage to beat that. I put like 200 hours into that game over the course of the last few months, and I just wanted to squeeze every little bit, and it was the most beautiful, magical moment I think I've ever had in gaming. And I say this as a guy with a Triforce on his left hand, because Ocarina of Time is like a swan song of gaming to me. It like this this is a completely separate topic, but up until beating Xenoblade 3, Ocarina of Time was like, to me, like a metaphor for how I grew up, this outcast that found his way, right? But Xenoblade Chronicles 3 kind of came to me, and the metaphors behind that really just were hyper relevant to some things that I've been experiencing lately in my life, and were it was the most therapeutic gaming experience that I've ever had. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to recreate that experience going forward. I just think that it was the perfect game. I think that even if I wasn't going through some tough times, from like just face value for what it is, in my opinion, one of the, if not the best JRPG of all time. The battle system is obviously, you love it or hate it, and if you hate the battle system, it's not going to be for you. The only drawback of it in its current state is that it's still running on the Switch hardware. Again, in a whole other separate topic. But I think that if the Switch gets a successor that is backwards compatible, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is, we're talking in the future, playable in 60 FPS at 1080p or 4K, then in my opinion, it is like the best JRPG experience of all time that's been made. As far as storytelling goes, and just emotional impact, I really do. It beats everything. It beats Final Fantasy VII. I don't care. Take off your nostalgia goggles and play that game, bro. Do it right now. But I want to do a really good video essay talking about my experience there, because obviously I have some very strong feelings towards it. But if you guys have any other ideas, you know, preferences for what you'd like to see on this channel, I'm always open to that stuff. Hoping to have some more, you know, time in the future. I say that every video. But yeah, guys, drop a like, subscribe, or just tell me your thoughts. Really glad you're all still here. Really glad you're enjoying these videos, if you are. And if you don't, give me a thumbs down. Tell me I suck. I don't care, bro. Like, this is YouTube. It's a free country, or whatever the hell you are. Anyways, guys, have a good night.
Keep shooting them while they're in the air. You can juggle them, and it does more damage, and it looks cool too.
Okay, you know what? No, we're all gonna die.
Fuck yeah! Oh, fuck yeah! You seeing this shit? You see how cool this is? Get fucked, ants! You just got juggled! Whew, okay. I'm not sure what came over me there. I think